Right now I'm going to play the first 3 minutes or so of the Illuminatus, Book 1, The Eye of the Pyramid. And I will match it up with this picture of the Las Vegas Illuminati card in a filter. Alright, so let's go over here.
The history of the world is the history of the warfare between secret societies. Ishmael Reed, Mumbo Jumbo. It was the year when they finally immanentized the eschaton.
That means bringing hell on earth.
On April the 1st, the world's great powers came closer to nuclear war than ever.
On April 1st, the great powers came together. So you have to have a good buddy to make a deal. So you have April 1st and you have October 1st. You have 4-1, 10-1, you have 10-4, good buddy.
Before, all because of an obscure island named Fernando Po. By the time international affairs returned to their normal Cold War level, some wits were calling it the most tasteless April Fool's joke in history. I happen to know all the details about what happened, but I have no idea how to recount them in a manner that will make sense to most readers. For instance, I'm not even sure who I am.
I know who I am. Some of you know who I am. Right now.
And my embarrassment on that matter makes me wonder if you will believe anything I reveal. Worse yet, I am at the moment very conscious of a squirrel.
Here is your squirrel. There's your squirrel.
In Central Park, just...
Here is Central Park.
off 68th Street in New York.
Just off 68th Street. Snake eats 68. Snake eats 68th Street. Right there.
City that is leaping from one tree to another. And I think that happens on the night of April the 23rd, or is it the morning of April the 24th? But fitting the squirrel together with Fernando Po is, for the present, beyond my powers. I beg your tolerance. There is nothing I can do to make things any easier for any of us. And you will have to accept being addressed by a disembodied voice, just as I accept the compulsion to speak out, even though I am painfully aware that I am talking to an invisible, perhaps non-existent audience. Wise men have regarded the earth as a tragedy, a farce, even an illusionist's trick. But all, if they are truly wise and not merely intellectual rapists,
if you're truly on to shit and you're not mind-controlled, intellectually raped,
that it is certainly some kind of stage in which we all play roles, most of us being very poorly coached.
Poorly coached. Not really ready for what's going to happen.
Totally unrehearsed before the curtain rises. Is it too much if I ask tentatively that we agree to look upon it as a circus?
Look upon it as a circus. There's your circus tent, kids. Look upon it as a circus.
A touring carnival, wandering about the sun for a record season of 4 billion years and producing new monsters and miracles, hoaxes and bloody mishaps, wonders and blunders, but never quite entertaining the customers well enough to prevent them from leaving. What?
Las Vegas has all kinds of shows, all kinds of stuff going on, but everybody always leaves to go home.
By one and returning to their homes for a long and bored winter's sleep under the dust. Then say, for a while at least, that I have found an identity as ringmaster.
Ringmaster. There's his hat of the circus. That ringmaster of the circus is Ronald McDonald. Stay with me.
But that crown sits uneasily on my head.
That crown sits uneasily on my head.
If I have a head, and I'm...
If I have a head. That's a pig. You put a pig's head, you cut a pig's head off, right? Right.
I must warn you that the troop is
The pig's head is the squealer.
small for a universe this size, and many of us have to double or triple our stints. So you can expect me back in many other guises. Indeed. To make...
So, this is what they're talking about right here. He's talking about himself. The rabbit, or the squirrel bouncing around. The hat, the crown, the pig. The S, O, R, O, S. Soros. George Soros.
Things come to pass.
Things come to pass. Things come to pass. Now, if you look, this J is for Jason and it's for Jesus. They both looked the other way. That's a guy standing there told to look the other way. That's Jesus. Was once filled with love but took over by the money. This guy everybody thinks is Aldine, but it is actually Jason's middle name, Aldine. Aldine, he is fat. Super fat guy standing there, Aldine. This J was once a W, but it has been swallowed up by this snake, Soros, who, according to Wikipedia, his name was Monty Willis. Monty Python swallowed the J. Now you have left is nothing but this small fries. Why? Because if he's not a spade, he's a spud. He's a spud inserted in between the meat and the buns. The meat and potatoes. This meat is Big Mac, Mandalay Bay, McDonald's, the Clown, the Ringmaster. Then you have a golden stack of pancakes. And you have Grimace from McDonald's giving a high five to the Trojan from Mandalay Bay. That's the story, kids. They just told you right here. This is the beginning of the book. It tells you how to figure it out. And I figured it out, you guys. I don't care.
I happen to know all the details about what happened, but I have no idea how to recount them in a manner that will make sense to most readers. For instance, I'm not even sure who I am, and my embarrassment on that matter makes me wonder if you will believe anything I reveal. Worse yet, I am at the moment very conscious of a squirrel.
I got this squirrel. I got this squirrel bouncing around in Central Park. I'm telling you, man.
In Central Park, just off 68th Street in New York City. that is leaping from one tree to another. And I think that happens on the night of April the 23rd, or is it the morning of April the 24th? But fitting the squirrel together with Fernando Pooh is, for the present, beyond my powers. I beg your tolerance. There is nothing I can do to make things any easier for any of us. And you will have to accept being addressed by a disembodied voice, just as I accept the compulsion to speak out, even though I am painfully aware that I am talking to an invisible, perhaps non-existent audience.
It's exactly me. I'm telling you guys what's going on, and nobody's listening. Nobody's listening. You want to type Pooh in? P-O-O. Pooh. Okay? This is the tasteless joke. April 1st, it was a tasteless joke because that's raw meat. Zoomed in on that. You have people's faces crying. It was called a harvest. You got, come on, man. This here is this right here, the smoking gun. If you can put all of this together, it gives you the answer. Jason Aldean. This is the smoking gun. That on the filter shows you that's Grimace, and you can see he's blowing smoke. It's the smoking gun.